Hey there guys, welcome to the first episode of a new series that I'm going to call The Freaky Review, where I review a game after completing it. I will give it a score and give it a completion marker for casual gamers, and I will explain my reasons for doing so. Now before watching this, if you guys haven't already checked out my Let's Play of this game, watch the game before this review. With introductions out of the way, let's get into it. Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2011 Over the Nexus is a game developed by Konami, the makers of the popular TGC Yu-Gi-Oh! This game is set in the timeline of the 5Ds era. If you guys aren't aware, the era had the main protagonist Yusei and his rival Jack. This is the latest version of the World Championship games in this series. Your story starts off with you in a dream of becoming a hotshot turbo duelist until Klaus wakes you up. You explore the town called Crash Town and meet your friends Toro, Nico, and West. In the second chapter, your friend Toro needs you to get a part for his duel runner, but you run into a bit of trouble when you go over to Satellite, and you're helped out by the main characters of the era, Yusei, Jack, Crow, and Callan. After you give the parts to that Yusei suggested, Toro finally completes his duel runner and leaves for the city. A few years later, you are forced to move due to the war between the two rival gangs, the Malcolm family and the Raymond group. You also find out that Klaus had a hidden room under your bed and he gives you a duel runner that your parents had. You find your friend Toro and a new friend Masaki, and you help rebuild the duel runner that your parents left you. You go back to Crash Town to help out the two friends that were left there due to their dad having to work in the mines. After that, Toro and Masaki form a team with you and enter the first World Racing Grand Prix, or WRGP for short. After the qualifying rounds of the Grand Prix, you and other turbo duelists are attacked, and you, Jack, and Yusei meet the three emperors of Iliasta. They tell you that eventually the entity will ignite and destroy New Domino City. You help form Team 5Ds due to the fact that Crow, Masaki, and Toro all got injured during the attack. Team 5Ds needs to save the world from the three emperors of Iliasta. The gameplay is based off of the Yugioh trading card game. You and your opponent will start off with 8,000 life points each. There are multiple ways of winning. The first way is to reduce your opponent's life points to 0. The second way is to make your opponent deck out. What I mean by deck out is they cannot draw a card during their draw phase, or by an automatic win condition. The same is said for turbo duels, but this is with speed spells instead of regular spells. And for the speed spells you need certain requirements to activate them. There was also a new feature that was added into the World Championship games that hadn't been done in other previous World Championships, and that was Tag Turbo Duels. This new mode isn't really anything special, but can be very tough for the player if their partner isn't that great. Some games are going to require you to meet certain conditions to win the duel. Some of the time, your opponent just gets an advantage, and I do have to say this. I hate the fact that it takes forever to make a move when the computer has to calculate. At times, I had to wait 2 minutes for a computer to think to place one card face down. Okay, rant over. There isn't much to say on the presentation on the game. For its time, it looked really subpar on this section. Some of the cards do have animations, but not many have that are noteworthy. The duel field looks good, and my personal opinion, it's better than it looked in the World Championships before, and other World Championships actually did something that this one didn't. Say you've gotten all the cards for your deck and beaten most duelists 3 times now. Now it's time to verse the 3 Emperors of Iliasta. Now if you did it the way I did it, it will take some time and practice to get this done right. There is another way that you can do it, but it requires a well-known automatic win condition. You will need to be ahead of your first opponent by a fair bit if you want to win. On the second member, you want to be ahead a lot, because if you are not, you will be for a huge wake-up call. After you beat the last member of Iliasta, you are teleported to an unknown location where the three emperors say that you, Jack, and Yusei have the power to forge your own futures. After the World Racing Grand Prix has finally come to an end, your team and Team 5Ds have an exclusive match to see who would have really won. But unfortunately, this doesn't mean you get to verse all of Team 5Ds. You only get to see the start of the match. To complete this game, you need to complete a couple of side quests to be able to unlock certain characters to unlock the last of the packs. All the NPCs in the story mode you must beat 3 times for you to unlock every single card pack. And this is the most dreadful part of the game. Oh, but luckily they put in a reward for getting 95% of the cards in your card collection. You can unlock the rest of the cards if you know their codes. Completing this game is really annoying. This game during the main story was very easy for someone like me who had previous knowledge of the game, but completing it will make you insane. You will be spending at least 300 hours plus to complete this. Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2011 Over the Nexus is more likely going to make you insane the further on you go in the game. If you're a completionist, you have to be very patient and gamble on a lot of decks that hopefully work. For the fans of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, this is a game where if you want to play this game, you already know what happens in the real story, but this is just an altered version of it. But for the casual gamer, it's probably not the best idea to stick with this game for the long haul. With that in mind, guys, I give this game a rating of 6 out of 10 and a completionist rating of play it. Play it! The reason being is that this game is not worth finishing, since it is a good game for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, but for a typical gamer, it's not fun. Plus, if you're trying to learn the game, it isn't the most up-to-date game that you guys can get. However, if you're new to the game and you want to get into the TGC, then it's definitely worth a try. So if you guys like this video, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for another freaky review, and I'm going to leave you a hint for the next Let's Play that I will be doing. And I'll see you guys next time.